with Arians criticizing Brady.
No, because this is who he is. Tom Brady had to have known what he was getting himself into, and this is what I tried to explain to people. I said, now, when B.A. offers his harsh critique and his analysis of Tom play, how is he going to accept that? Because we've seen him, Skip, openly do this to Jameis. Now, the problem, see, the people, Skip Baylesses of the world, is think because Brady.
There's only one.
No, but you have a big supporter. You have a large base that believes like you because Tom Brady has won 6 Super Bowls, because he's been to 9. He's above reproach. How dare you correct him? How dare you openly criticize his play? Tom Brady has to be right. And B.A. says he's absolutely wrong. Now, and I told you this was going to happen. I said, now, how is he going to respond? He's not happy with this. Coach Belichick never, now Skip, in the locker room, I mean, we having conversations and team meeting, that's one thing, and it didn't get out to a later date and time. But to have the media and to have B.A. say this and they get it, Tom Brady is seething. Never said, yeah, I understand that I have to play. And he'll say everything. He'll try to keep it in the quarterback, the professional, the CEO as he is. He's going to try to keep it as above the board as possible. But you know underneath, he's seething. He's seething because it bothered him. Now, Mike Evans was open a bunch. Now, what do you think Mike Evans is thinking? Because Mike Evans has been saying this all along. Now, what they tried to do was appease Mike by giving him 2 targets in the end zone. Because as Mike sees his production go down, he's like, well, at least I do have 7. At least I do have 8 touchdowns. But then he sees what Devontae Adams is doing. He sees what all these other receivers are doing. He's like, hold on, wait a minute. When I had Jameis, I was getting these targets like this, and I was in the consideration as one of the better receivers. Nobody even mentions Mike Evans now. So, Skip, I knew this was going to be a problem if Brady at any point in time struggled because B.A. doesn't have a filter. That's what it is. And the thing that it shouldn't be a problem to Tom. The only way it should be a problem to Tom, if he had this conversation, when he picks up the phone, he calls Jason Light, I think that's the general manager, and he calls B.A. And they have a conversation. He says, now, Bruce, but everybody calls him B.A. B.A., this is yada, yada, yada. This is what I like. Because that's what I did when I went to Baltimore. I had to sit down with Brian Billick in his office. He says, okay. I said, Brian, look, I don't have a problem with you coaching me publicly. I don't have a problem with you criticizing me. I said, but don't curse me. That's all I ask. You want to coach me in front of the team? Have at it. But Skip Bayless thinks Tom Brady is beyond reproach, and this shouldn't happen to him. But this is who he is. B.A. is 68, if I'm not mistaken. He's 68 years of age. The likelihood of a man in his late 60s pivoting from what he's been his entire life is not very good. So I don't have a problem with it. I told you your guy didn't play well. You making excuses. There are no excuses to be made. He didn't play well. The end.
Obviously, you don't have a problem with this because you sit across from me on a daily basis ridiculing the greatest player ever to play the hardest position in sports, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. You ridicule him on a daily basis. So now you're loving it because all the Brady haters out there, and they have come out of hiding full force and full throat. They can now say, look, even his head coach is ridiculing him because this is just straight ridicule. This is just... The disrespect here is just disgusting to me because I can't help asking this question. Who the hell is Bruce Arians? I ask that question because it deserves to get asked right here today. What has he ever done to deserve this? Who is he? How many Super Bowls has he won?
Skip, he hasn't won any. But Tom Brady hitched his pickup truck and drove his butt down to Central Florida, so it tells me something about B.A.
He hitched it to 2 Pro Bowl receivers, and he hitched it to 2 stud tight ends. He's lost one of them, O.J. Howard, for the rest of the year. And he hitched it to a team that he saw had a defense on the rise that could be a playoff caliber defense.
Sure.
Was not on Sunday night at home against New Orleans. So real quick, let's look at, I can't call him B.A. He doesn't deserve any nicknames.
You're going to call him Bruce?
He's just Bruce Arians to me. This man is 1-2 as a head coach in the playoffs. 1-2. This man, once upon a time in 1974, actually was the starting quarterback for Virginia Tech when they ran the wishbone.
Yeah.
He threw that whole season 3 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He completed 44% of his passes, and he has the audacity. He dares to sit back and take shots at Tom Brady, the obvious GOAT of quarterbacks. And why does he do it? Because he has an ego even bigger than Tom Brady's, and it is completely undeserved. His ego was built because he has coached 4 very good to great quarterbacks. He coached, let's see, Peyton Manning. He coached, Andrew Luck. He coached Carson Palmer, and he coached Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Correct.
I just named 3 guys who were the first overall pick in the draft. I named another one, Big Ben Roethlisberger, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was the 11th overall pick in the draft, and help me out. Do you really believe that Bruce Arians made any of those 4 quarterbacks any better than they were going to be? No!
But here's the thing. He got all of those guys early in their career so they could handle this kind of harsh critique. You're getting Tom Brady in year 21.
Well, he's handled it fine. He's not going to fire back.
No. But I'm saying, this is a conversation.
I'm sure he is seething.
Right.
I would agree with you. But I got to tell you, people around this league now in the know, people inside other franchises, they're looking on Bruce Arians right now as just coming off as foolish, buffoonish, clownish. All that was blame deflection. Every time they lose a big game, and they have lost now the opener to New Orleans, they lost at Chicago, and then New Orleans at home.
Right.
2 big division games against your arch rival. You lost those games. He has criticized Tom Brady after each of those games as if to say, don't look at me. I didn't do it. He did it. I'm just the head coach. Did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look ready to play on Sunday night? No, they did not. Were they smelling themselves, as you would say? Were they starting to believe the hype? Were they ready psychologically to match firepower with a division rival that was flying under the radar all week? They were not. Does the head coach deserve some of the blame for that? You better believe that he does, because they were as flat as pancakes coming right out of the gate on Sunday night. I tweeted it within 2 minutes ago. They were not ready to play at the Saints level.
Well, the question that I have for you and those others that think like you, if BA gets criticism for not having them ready to play, I don't hear you guys talk about BA getting credit when Tom Brady plays well. When he throws those 5 touchdowns against San Diego, y'all ain't mention BA. When he comes back, when he plays well, y'all don't mention BA.
I'm going to ask you again, who the hell is BA?
You know who he is.
Who the hell is he?
Hold on, Skip.
What is he?
Skip.
What has he done to deserve any credit or blame either way, to tell you the truth?
But
he's along for the greatest ride of his life. He should drop to his knees every night and thank God that at age 68, Tom Brady fell out of heaven into his lap in Tampa Bay.
Skip.
Seriously.
Skip, first of all, you criticize Coach Belichick all the time. You said he was a lacrosse player. The greatest coaches weren't the greatest players.
No doubt. I got it. But I'm just talking about having the audacity to publicly criticize the greatest quarterback ever. What is the mantra of all the head coaches? You played for one in Mike Shanahan. Did he ever criticize John Elway publicly?
No.
You don't do it. Okay, let me just speak from my side of the table.
Not those type of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I got you. When Jameis is leading the league in turnovers by, he had 35 last year. The next on the list was 13.
Right.
When you do that, okay, if you want to criticize that, when you know Jameis is pretty much going out the back door pretty quickly.
Right. Then we had 30 interceptions, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, and 5 fumbles.
5. So it's 35. I said 35 total turnovers. Total turnovers.
Yeah.
The next on the list was 23, actually. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the point is, I had the great fortune of learning football from these men. Bill Walsh, the great Bill Walsh, Tom Landry, and Jimmy Johnson. I spent hours talking to all 3 of those men about how you coach pro football at the highest level. Did any of those 3 ever dare to criticize their franchise quarterbacks publicly?
No.
You don't. It's the golden rule, because the position is too hard to play in the first place. And you don't want to undermine their credibility with the fans or with the locker room.
Correct.
You don't want to undercut them. You don't want to look like you cut their legs out from under them when they have to be the leader of the franchise on the field. The coach can't play.
Right.
In the end, it's up to that guy, because that guy is going to influence outcomes the way no position in any other sport except maybe pitcher in baseball, but they can only pitch every 5 days.
You're right.
But this is every game. It's all on that quarterback.
Correct.
So you don't do this. You don't take little. They're so sarcastic. They're so dismissive. Like, Mike just didn't get any targets. So let's look at what happened on Sunday night, shall we? Tom Brady came into that game having transformed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even in your point of view, into a solid football outfit. You know, where they were actually not turning the ball over. They weren't committing penalties.
Right.
They weren't allowing sacks. It looked like they were on a roll. It looked like they had launched toward a home Super Bowl possibility. And Tom Brady, at that point, according to Pro Football Focus, had the most big-time throws in the whole league of any quarterback, and he had the fewest turnover-worthy throws of any quarterback in pro football going into Sunday night. Well, that's pretty great, given the fact that you're 43 and you started completely over with all new teammates, all new offense, obviously all new coaches, in a whole new setting, in a division you don't know. To get to that moment, that was pretty great. And then what happened? Tom wanted Antonio Brown. And not only did he want him, but he pushed to force feed him in the first game he's going to play after 2 practices. He practices twice with the team, and all of a sudden on Sunday night, you're the head coach, so you got to sign off on it. You play him 39 snaps. Those are starter snaps, right?
Yeah.
And what happened in those 30? You got 39 there. You played Mike Evans 43 snaps and Chris Godwin 47 snaps. But Chris Godwin hadn't played. He'd missed 4 games, but he's coming off broken finger. He's got it all taped up, you know, and he's trying to catch it without hitting the broken finger. It's hard, man. You know this. And the point is that look at the targets. Look at what happened. He throws 5 balls to Antonio. He throws 6 to Gronkowski, who, by the way, had one of the worst games of his career also. He throws 6 to Mike Evans and 6 to Chris Godwin. He also threw 6 to Fournette.
Right.
Well, I can't distribute it any better trying to spread the sugar, you know, trying to keep him as happy as possible.
I think the thing is that he's looking at it, Skip. Let's get down to what's the crux of this. Bruce Arians is upset that he doesn't get chunk plays in his offense. His offense is predicated, Skip, on pushing the ball down the field. Tom Brady has had success when he throws underneath, he throws to the running back, he throws to Gronk, and then he gets into the red zone and he throws touchdowns.
So what did you see on Sunday night? I saw him trying to force the ball downfield like crazy.
Right, exactly.
Like no risk at lots of biscuits. I'm throwing biscuits everywhere.
Right, and that's the problem with Tom. That's not him. So BA is asking him to do something that he's...
When has this offense been at its best? When he throws bite-sized biscuits.
Yes.
Like one-bite biscuits, just here, here, until you just wear the defense out.
Thank you.
Okay?
But Skip, that's not
And you actually have this thing called a running game.
Yes.
They had 4 real runs, as you said, the 5th, the kneel down count. Okay.
Right.
But 4 runs. It was the fewest in the history of the league.
Right.
Well, in large part, or in some part, it was because you fell behind so fast, your defense could never stop Drew Brees.
I mean, you think, put this in context, Skip. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers ran the ball for the entirety of a ball game as many times as when they failed, New England fell behind 28-3. New England ran the ball 4 times in the second half, and they were behind 28-3. You ran the ball 4 times in a ball game. And you was down, the worst, you started down 7-0. Skip, they're a good running team. Ro Jones can run the football. He was like a top 5, top 6 rusher. And you give him how many carries? It's like, okay, we can't run. Throw the ball, Tom.
Okay, whose fault is that?
That's BA's and Brian
Thank you.
You can't.
And BA doesn't call the plays directly, but he obviously oversees, he overrules. He is the final say.
Skip. You make it very. I don't care who the quarterback is. Joe Montana, John Elway, Patrick Mahomes.
I agree.
If you let the defense know all we're going to do is throw the football and they say we can just pin our ears back, they're going to come get you.
Okay. And did they come get him from the first snap? Basically, from the first snap. I saw the stat on Pro Football Focus. He was under fire 56% of the time. He was under pressure,
Yes.
which was the second highest rate of the week.
Right.
Okay, so we know this. I've told you this about Tom Brady when he's 23, 33, or 43. If you're all over him, he's not mobile.
Right.
And he has good pocket feet. He used to have great pocket feet, but he's not quite as quick as he used to be.
He has what they call phone booth quickness.
Okay?
He can side to side.
But you better give him a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
He'll get rid of it fast. But if he has people in his face immediately and you don't allow him to step into his throws, it's going to be chaos.
Right.
And now he's trying to look for number 81, which happens to be Antonio Brown. Where's 81? Wait, I got 2 Pro Bowl receivers. I got the GOAT tight end, and I got a receiver who for 5 years was probably the best receiver in this league. Now what am I going to do? And I got maybe a second less than I've had in the 6 previous games, right? Dating back to the first New Orleans game. What do you think's going to happen? It's going to be chaos, and it was. And it got off wrong, and then even the bigger shock of the night to me is that Todd Bowles' defense couldn't even slow down Drew Brees until it was 31-0. Did they even punt?
And I'm not so sure they would have slowed him down then if they didn't get that strip, that fumble, and Jerry Cook drops the ball.
Okay.
So it might have been 45-0 at one point.
Okay, so it's not a day when you take shots at the GOAT franchise quarterback. You just don't do it. You can't tell me just because you got the big ego and you want to flex and you want to say, don't look at me, man.
With the cane
Don't
goal
look at me.
loaded.
It was him. I can't throw it. I don't know. Mike Evans is open a lot. He just didn't get enough targets. Well, he got 6 like everybody else got.
Well, how about this here? How about you tell Thomas, Edward, Jameis, Winston, Brady Sr. to stop turning the ball over?
Well, how much has he turned it over? Had he turned it over before Sunday night? Not very much. He had 4 for the year. And now he's got
7.
2 and 3. He has 5 out of 7 came against this team.
Right.
Okay? This team's got his number. This team has their whole number. This team has BA's number.
Well, the thing that they can do that very few teams can do is that because they have 2 corners that can be physical, Janoris Jenkins and Marshawn Lattimore, they can be physical. They have a safety who can take the tight end and Malcolm Jenkins, and they have a front 4 skip. They don't have to compromise their back end by blitzing. They got 4 guys that can just go get the quarterback. And when you can do that, and without compromising your secondary, you can cause Tom Brady. Because what you want to do, Skip, the first play of the game you mentioned, Cam Jordan hit him. He hit him side his head, but he got there.
I don't care whether it's a foul or not a foul. He got there.
He got there. And that was for like, hold on. This is the first play of the game, and I'm already getting hit. Normally, Skip, it take you a couple of series to get hit. And he's like, well, damn, this is what I'm up against tonight.
And I told you, you would have taken some of the sting out of it if you throw a flag on that. At least you get a first down and 15 yards, and you feel like, okay, here we go.
Right.
Instead, there's no flag thrown, and he got rocked, and he threw. His arm's getting hit, and it was just a complete misfire.
But see, I think the thing also, Skip, is that once you get the best thing to happen to Tom, and he'll never admit this, was him leaving New England, because so many things have to go right for him now. He needs a running game, and he needs max protection. Now, he has guys outside, but if you don't have time to throw it to him, Skip, I don't care who you got out there. You can have Jerry Rice, you can have Randy Moss and Chris, and whomever you want. If you can't get protected, you hit your back foot, and now you got to move, it's not going to work. So for them, they're going to have to get back. BA is going to have to sign up because, Skip, what I've learned in all my 14 years of coaching, coaches would rather lose their way than win someone else's way. And BA is winning, but he's not happy winning like that because that's not his way.
Okay, so I ask you, what purpose did it serve to criticize Tom Brady? What good did it do for the football team to criticize Tom Brady?
Well, I don't think it does. I don't think any good because Tom says I didn't play well. Tom says I got to play better. He knows he has to play better.
Who thought he did play well? Nobody.
Oh, you probably would have gave him a B. If we gave him a grade, you gave him a B.
I would not.
But
I would give him a D.
See, but I tried to tell you. I warned you of this. But you told me they were looking forward to the Saints. That's why they overlooked the Giants.
I agree.
Now, I said, Skip, there are some things that I see because if that's Data, Skip, Giants should have beat them. If that's Daniel Jones turned the ball over, made horrible interceptions. If he was, it would have even been close. They'd have blew the doors off the Bucs. I say, Skip, I see some things that's a problem. Now, I don't really pay any attention to Pro Football Focus, but since you like them, Pro Football Focus at the beginning of the season said the Bucs secondary was the weak link. And I see, when I look at them, I said they're young.
Because they didn't know how good Antoine Winfield Jr. was going to be as a rookie, and he has solidified the back end.
He's good.
Not Sunday night.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. That secondary is predicated on pressure. You see when they didn't get...
What secondary isn't?
But Skip,
I mean, it just...
But sometimes you need to be right there so the guy can make him do this to bring it down. Drew Brees was going back, his back foot hitting, ball gone. The one time that he had to hold the ball, he still ended up getting a touchdown because he threw the little out route on the goal line to Emmanuel Sanders. That was really the only time they made him clutch it. Other than that, back foot hit, ball gone.
How many times did you see a Drew Brees receiver catch a ball with nobody within 10 yards?
Yeah.
I'm saying, are they even out there? Wait, are they playing with like 8 men on defense?
Well, it looks like they're a heavy pressure team. They're a heavy man-to-man team. And all of a sudden, it seems like they dropped in zone like they were trying to fool them. So Drew Brees is like, there's some quarterbacks, if you can't play zone, you got to mix it up. But if you give Drew Brees a heavy dose of just zone, he's like, oh, y'all just going to do that? Y'all just going to drop off? Okay. But he did get Skip. He did get Mike Thomas back. He also got Emmanuel Sanders back. So now that really opens up the field because now you see all these other guys. And still, I don't know what they're thinking. Taysom Hill's coming in the game. He's either going to catch it or he's going to run it. It's simple as that, Skip. I mean, what y'all think he in the game for? As window dressing, he's going to do something with the ball.
Well, if he were out there right now, he'd still be running, and they still wouldn't have him on the ground.
He faster than I thought, Skip, because they snapped the ball to him, and he jumped through the hole, and we know JPP can run. He pulled away from JPP.
He did.
I was like, I ain't know he had wheels like that, but I think he ran like 4.4, low 4.5, Skip.
Yeah, to like 230.
Yeah.
Okay, my final thought on BA, as you call it. He better be careful because if they do miss the playoffs, as billions of people want them to miss the playoffs,
no, they're not going to miss the playoffs.
If they do, he will be out of work. And if he's out of work, it's possible he won't get another head coaching job.
No, Skip, they're not going to miss the playoffs. I think they're a good football team who had a bad outing. But I think the biggest thing, they need to commit. Either we're going to do what Tom does really well, which is underneath stuff, and Skip, and that's okay. If that's my strong suit, play to my strength. Don't play to my weakness. I get it. You want to throw the ball down the field. But that's not what Tom is at this stage of his career.
He can be.
Yeah.
He can be. He's thrown a bunch of good deep balls. See little Scotty Miller, who got only 3 targets on Sunday night.
BA is about putting the ball up, let Mike Evans go make jump balls. Let Chris, but that's not, Tom can't unwire. You can't unwire 20 years, Skip, in 6 months.
So now you have come around saying they are going to be a playoff team.
No,
I thought you just completely dismissed them on.
They got an extra one.
Yeah,
they got extra seed.
Oh, so that they're going to slip in the back.
Yeah, that winning that division. We got that case on that. We got them cases on that division.
We have no cases on.
Skip, you said they was going to win the division.
Well, we didn't bet any cases on it.
We got to pull the tape.
Okay, pull the tape.
Pull the tape.
And then Carolina got something for y'all too.
I don't know if I remember that.
Teddy B.
We might have 5 cases on that.
Teddy KGB.
That could get interesting. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.